Welcome to RJI Insight. Today we are going to spend some time on a challenge many newsrooms face, the too much to do, not enough people to do it situation. One of the consequences of that is some things get set aside or overlooked. An example is the mentorship of new journalists and the work to make sure they have a strong foundation in the newsroom. And that is where our guest, Rachel Lobdell, comes in. Rachel has done some research on solutions to that challenge and put together the early career guide for Newsroom Success, kind of an owner's manual for new reporters, editors, and producers. Rachel, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me, what was the inspiration for the early career guide?
So I've been managing journalists for more than a decade, and what I have seen time and time again is that managers will talk about their journalists like, oh my gosh, he's such a good reporter, but he's so unorganized, or she's a fantastic interviewer, but she cannot turn copy in on time. And journalism schools really focus on what it takes to be a great journalist, but they often skip over the professional workplace skills like communication, organization, time management. And hands down, that is where I see new journalists falter the most. So there's also a little bit of privilege that goes along with these skills as well. If you don't have anyone in your life who modeled corporate behaviors or coached you on how to work with your boss, it can put you at a disadvantage. And we know that managers are human and they can have bias towards those who aren't following the norms of the office. And I wanted this guide to be an easy way to kind of grease the wheels and make you more successful and, quite frankly, not annoy your boss all the time. We know that staffers who connect with management tend to get better assignments and promotions. So this can have really real consequences.
Yeah, that's great. So what will folks find inside when they look at the guide?
This guide covers non-journalism workplace skills like prioritization, time management, professional communication, relationship building, and how to receive feedback. Each section contains actionable advice that you can put into practice right away. And there's also links to resources so you can dig a little bit deeper if you want to.
Yeah, and looking at it, there's a lot of good advice in here, and we don't want people to get overwhelmed, but what do you think is the best way for folks to make the most of the guide?
I would say there's two ways that you can go about it. The guide takes about 40 minutes to read from top to bottom. So one way is you could allot 60 to 90 minutes, maybe go to a coffee shop and sit down with it and read it from beginning to end. There's going to be some skills that you're going to be better at than others. And so you might not need to go deep on the entire thing, but each section contains so many great nuggets of advice that I do recommend at least skimming every section. Or if you want to take it section by section, I suggest starting with the part on communicating better with your manager. The relationship that you have with your manager is so key to your success, and improving how you work together will really pay off.
I know part of your research for this project involved surveying editors, fellow editors, to gather their suggestions and frustrations. Were the findings pretty much what you expected?
I created a survey to ask newsroom leaders what skills early career journalists need to improve the most. And when I looked at the survey results, I expected the top issues to be around professional communication norms. You hear stories about early career journalists, texting at 10 p.m. or not understanding the etiquette of sending professional emails. And so that's really what I expected to come to the top. But more than 70% of respondents said that being more resourceful and proactive problem solving was lacking in early career journalists. That was the number one issue. It was actually the only one that scored above 50%. So that was surprising.
Yeah, that is.
I have seen that in my own management as well. So once I thought about it, it made a lot of sense. Being the person who everyone felt comfortable slacking, oh, do you have a link to this document? Or what is our policy for requesting off? Or how do I do this? When they really should have had these documents saved or reread their emails or looked at the agenda and really tried to solve the problem on their own before reaching out. So when I reflected back, that feedback from the managers really did make sense to me.
All right, Rachel, anything else you'd like to add?
I'm thrilled that we were able to put this together. We had so many people contribute, whether it was through the survey or through editing and providing feedback, and I'm just really grateful for everyone's time. The guide has at the bottom a way to get in touch with us if you have feedback, so please reach out.
All right, thank you, Rachel, for joining us today. You can find a link to Early Career Guide along with many other resources on RJI's website, rjionline.org. Thanks for watching.